Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's first video, JMA Friday for today's first video. So as always on a Friday, we're having a look at weather the next 30 days. This is going to take us into the second half of December. So just short of Christmas, but running up towards Christmas period. So have a look at JMA and CFSV2 in a moment, see what they're showing for the next 4 weeks. And Medical is going to have a 10 to 14 day update, including all upgrade features. After that, we will have the ECM WF 42 day look ahead. That takes us, I think, into the beginning of 2021. Can you believe that? Into the opening days of the new year. So that'll be coming up around sort of 5, 6 o'clock this evening. And they're going to live stream at 10 o'clock tonight. So we're going to live stream the GFS 18Z, aka the pub run. And yeah, we'll have a bit of fun, have a bit of a laugh on a Friday night. You haven't watched a Friday night live stream yet, then, well, all I can say is that you're in for an experience, and that'll be coming up after 10 o'clock tonight. But kicking it all off is JMA Friday, so here we go. We're going to start off with the 500 millbar high tumbling. It's from the North Pole down. So, of course, this is the North Pole of the Arctic, just here, this wider Arctic circle around there. And they've got the mid-latitudes through here. Excuse me. Right, so yellow, orange and red extrapolate to above average heights, which is high pressure, blue to below average heights, which is low pressure. These are broken down to week periods. The first week period takes us from the 20th to the 27th of November. So coming week looks unsettled with below average heights, low pressure to the north, above average heights, high pressure to the south, and winds are in from a westerly direction. So it looks rather unsettled, particularly for the northwest parts. It actually drives where it's in the south. And of course, it will be mild with winds in from the Atlantic. Week 2 takes us from the 27th of November to the 4th of December, with an area of below average heights and sinking down through the west of Europe, and a ridge of above average heights are pulled out into the middle of the Atlantic. So it's a dip in the jet stream in the 500 millibar flow. That certainly looks a lot cooler, possibly you would say colder, depending on whether we're actually forcing the air in from the Arctic, which we probably aren't, but the air will at least be coming in from Greenland with that, and so it would be quite a lot cooler, a cool end to November, possibly quite a cold start to December, and unsettled too. You wouldn't rule out the chance of a little bit of wintriness, you know, as we're on the cold side of the jet stream. That would be particularly so for more northern parts of the country. And we go through to weeks 3 and 4, which takes us from the 4th through to the 18th of December. And more changes here with low pressure up towards the northwest, a ridge of above average heights, high pressure from the Atlantic into northern and western Europe. Jet stream doing something a little bit like that. So probably turning drier through the first half of December. Now, it's very difficult to ascertain what temperature we'll be doing, because technically that's going to be quite mild, as we are bringing in the air from off the Atlantic. However, as it's December, and it looks like we're under a ridge of high pressure, which is going some way north, I would think that could be quite cold, you know, from frost and fog. It wouldn't be cold from snow and northerly or easterly winds. But because it's December and it's an area of high pressure, it is quite a long way north. We're not sort of seeing that high pressure sat to our south, pulling up a southwesterly. So I think that could probably be frost and fog sort of conditions. Although the model will almost certainly say milder than average. Let's have a look then. So, right, well, you've got to zoom this in. Sorry about that. Everyone, I should have got that already zoomed in. Okay, so we'll push that down to here. Right, so this is the week 1 500 millibar height anomaly from the JMA, and this is trying to mid-latitude view, of course. So British Arctic is in the top right-hand corner chart as you are looking at it. A reminder of the week 1 500 millibar height anomaly with above average heights to the south and below average heights to the north. You can't see sort of Greenland, Scandinavia, the Arctic, that's all off the chart up here, but it does sort of indicate westerlies in the week ahead. Temperature anomalies in the coming week are going to be milder than average. Remember, this is from the 20th, 27th of November, so the week ahead is milder than average with westerly flow. North-south split for precipitation, wet and average in the north, dry and average in the south. Week 2 So you should have got charts already loaded up before, already set up. Sorry about that. Week 2 looks like this. So below average heights extending down through west of Europe. Generally doing something a little bit like that. It looks like a more unsettled week here, and a lot cooler as well for week 2, 27th of November to 4th of December. Temperature anomaly is dropping, particularly to the northwest of the country, where it's going cooler than average, but it is a cool down through all parts of the country. And because we're under a trough of low pressure, of course, it's unsettled too, so the precipitation anomaly is above average here, cool or even quite cold and wet. And maybe with a little bit of precipitation, wintry precipitation as well. And then weeks 3 and 4 are looking like this, much more anticyclonic then, with high pressure above average heights pretty much over UK and extending over here to our east as well. Temperature anomaly hints at being a little bit above average, which you'd expect because it's not blocking, it's not northern blocking, it's just a ridge of high pressure. But bear in mind, there could well be like low level cold with that frost and fog, which the model will not be able to see really. And the rainfall anomaly looks like that, so going dry and average, of course, you'd expect that as high pressure takes over. So mild to start off with, then colder and wetter around the turn of the month, and then into anticyclonic weather, which won't, it's not bringing in sort of snowy northerly or easterly winds and very cold northerly easterly winds, because it's December, because an area of high pressure sat pretty much over top of the country, and slightly to our east and southeast. It could be cold and from frost, cold with frost and fog. Right, that's how JMA looks. This is how CFS V2 compares. So again, these are 500 millibar heights, and they're broken down into week periods. The first week period takes from 20th to 26th of November. The coming week, we'll have high pressure sitting to our south, low pressure is to our north. Perfect agreement between the two models, therefore, winds are coming in from west. It should be pretty mild, and the driest weather will be down in the south. Now, this is a change for week 2, so a big disagreement between these two models as early as week 2. At this point, the JMA is cold or cool and very unsettled, with a trough of low pressure through the west of Europe and a dip in the jet stream. The CFS is very different. This is 27th of November to the 3rd of December with a Scandinavian high. The CFS is seeing a Scandinavian high today around the turn of the month, which would be relatively dry, but would be bringing in easterly winds. They would be cold winds from the east, probably cold enough to bring snow showers onto the eastern side of the country, I would have thought. But certainly very chilly with a Scandinavian high and easterly winds for week 3. Week 2, I should say. Week 3 is also very interesting. This is the 4th to the 10th of December. Again, Scandinavian high, but also with retrogression going to Greenland. Low pressure is down across Spain and Portugal, and winds are in from the east, a proper easterly. So yeah, look at that. I mean, don't often see that with the CFS. So that could be like really quite cold indeed. And easterly winds bring snow perhaps into the eastern part of the country. And then week 4, another change. This is the 11th to the 17th of December. The ridge then slips back eastwards into Eastern Europe and Western Russia. So low pressure starts to come in from off the Atlantic. That's probably turning things milder. But of course, that's going to cold air, so there may be like a snowy transition or something. And then the Atlantic pushing through and winds turning back into the west. Very interesting update from the CFS V2 day. Completely at odds, actually, with what the JMA is showing from week 2 onwards. Right then, so we're going to go with what these ones are showing, though, of course. So that's how they're looking today. Right, so here we go then. Week 1 temperature anomaly from the 20th of November, 26th. It's a little bit milder than average for England and Wales. Near normal for Scotland and for Northern Ireland. Week 2 goes colder than average. Look at this. Not severely cold, but certainly it's a bit below average. 27th of November to the 3rd of December, particularly across England and Wales. We come over here. Much of sort of Europe is looking colder on average as well. So yeah, winds are in from the east, and particularly for England and Wales, there will be a risk of some snow showers coming in from the east with that. Week 3 is even colder. This is before through to the 10th of December. This is when we've also got high pressure towards Greenland, a very long fetch easterly wind. So yeah, cold and average. I mean, on the temperature scale, we're down to around a degree, maybe 1 to 2 degrees below average. So it's a significantly cold and average week there from CFS. Actually, a couple of weeks, like week 2 and week 3, also cold and average. Week 4 sees a recovery in temperature. This is the 11th, 17th of December. Just I see a little bit of a recovery coming through then. Temperatures beginning to get back closer to average. Of course, that might involve some sort of a snowy breakdown to those cold easterlies as well. Precipitation anomalies for week 1, 20th to 26th of December. Overall looking dry on average, particularly so for more southern parts of the country. Week 2 is also a dry on average week. This is 27th of November to 3rd of December. This is with Scandinavian high, of course. So yeah, dry on average there as well. Week 3 is the 4th to the 10th of December. That one is also hinting at being a little bit dry on average. And then week 4 possibly just goes a bit more unsettled then. But it is a very weak signal, 11th, 17th December. Very weak signal, as it always is, really. It's always quite a weak signal. For weeks 3 and 4 for precipitation. Right, so another very, very interesting JMA Friday this week. Got big disagreements between the two models as early as week 2. Obviously, out of the two, the CFS is definitely the colder of the two, with the Scandinavian high and eventually, even by week 3, some Greenland blocking. And proper easterlies and a risk of snow for the first half of December as well. The JMA is the much less wintry of the two, although that does have like an unsettled and cool or quite cold interlude in week 2, but then it's back to high pressure. So I expect it's all down to the positioning of that ridge of high pressure. If it's as far north as CFS has it, then we'll bring in easterly winds. If it's further southwards as the JMA is showing, then obviously we don't get the easterly, but we could get frost and fog out of the area of high pressure. It does also overall, though, the first half of December could be shaping up to be quite cold here. Be that either from like frost and fog, as JMA has, or like from a southerly tracking jet stream, as some of the shorter range models are showing, or even like a Scandinavian and or Greenland high and a proper easterly as a CFS shows. So it's all very, very interesting at the moment, and we shall see how it all develops, of course, in the next few days. Maybe it's just a snapshot of what these models are showing. Any forecast beyond 5-7 days is fraught with health warnings, so it could all look very, very different next week. Just a snapshot. So we'll see how things look with JMA Friday again next week. We're going to be back later on with your 10 to 14-day update. That will include all of regular features, of course. Then we'll have that ECMWF extended look ahead for Ireland and for the UK, taking us right to the beginning of 2021. And then we're live streaming after 10 o'clock tonight. For this video, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.